How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, Chapter 3, third chapter, whatever it's called. So, big stuff happened. We're phased into a new chapter. We met the long-lost ancestor, or at least almost like a spiritual artificial AI double of the first queen of Liberl. So, she was the one who led her people, against the Liberl arc, and was able to seal the way. So we're here at the base and we're about to launch into our next phase and next area. A few things are going to happen today. First of all, I am back from a break I had. I got sick. I pre-recorded stuff for the week that I was away for training, but then when I like almost every time I travel, it feels like I got sick, caught like some kind of really nasty flu / super cold. It basically just knocked me out, especially my voice, for days. So I just kind of took it easy and focused on recovery. Now I'm here, but I'm also doing my new job, which is really, really good. It's a very positive job, very, very good change, but it's resulting in a new change for recording sessions for me. And because of it, it kind of means that I have to record anything that's going to be taking longer than like a typical recording session with the visual novels. I have to record it on a certain day. Today's like that day. This is going to be kind of a new format I'm trying out, and we're going to see how it works. The trouble is that even, so far this isn't going super well. Despite the fact that I've tried to optimize my time as best as possible, I'm recording much later than I want to. I have to get up in the morning, not for work per se, but other stuff I have to do tomorrow. Just responsibilities and activities and things I'm going to be a part of. And it just kind of puts me in a position where I don't know if I have a ton of time to record. And I also know that today's probably going to have a lot of just busy work chat, because someone reminded me, which I kind of was already probably going to do, but someone also conditioned me and said in a comment to remember to look for books. So that means we're probably going to do another reading session with TheBlueShifting. I also want to chat with everybody here in the Hermit's Garden, especially because I want to talk to Chloe's ancestor, kind of see what she's got to say. In fact, I might want to have Chloe with me when I have that conversation, so I'm probably going to change out the team a lot. And I also just need to decide who I'm going to be taking with me. I asked somebody if the next section, I guess no one wanted to spoil anything, so they basically said the next section, don't stress too much about it, it'll make sense. There are some people who I have unique dialogue, but it's not critical. So I could easily just switch people out if I need to. I think someone said that Agat might be a good choice. But we'll kind of see. Ideally, it'll give me hints as to what to do, but I guess the next area is going to have a lot of doors for us to explore. So it's probably going to be a long, level, just because there's going to be so much to do, but I'm pretty excited, and we're getting pretty close to the end, because, we'll go through this area, and it's going to be kind of our gauntlet, our challenge run, and then we're going to enter, the last level, assuming we survive, which, of course, we will, but, the story is that we will assume we survive, then we'll get to the 7th level, which will be where the Lord of Phantasma is, which I genuinely am 100% convinced is a echo, or maybe a version of Weissman, who he's basically going to be the same kind of entity that this queen is. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I'm excited for a lot of it. I'm guessing that today, unfortunately, depending on how long it takes us, we're probably just going to be chatting a lot in the Hermit's Garden and initially starting the exploration of the next area. But that's probably going to be it, unfortunately. So, I could totally understand if this feels like a skippable episode. It probably will be. But I love everything about this game and about this series. I love just diving into just part and parcel of the whole thing, so I'm really interested to see where this is going to go, and I think it's time for us to I like making the time for these side stories and things that other people might brush off and not really care that much about, because for me, even if it's not the most pertinent thing, I feel like it's important. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And also, so I might have Agat come with me, but I also really want to try out having Richard on the team. Haven't been able to do anything with him quite yet. So I initially put him here. I'm probably going to switch him out for now, because my plan is to kind of have a few people go around and talk with everybody. But then in the end, I will decide on a final team that I want to go into, at least initially with, and just kind of see how it goes. I'm thinking it will probably be this Ren, Richard, and Estelle team that I've kind of got going. But again, with the idea that I might switch people out if I feel like they might have relevant conversations or things to say. But again, it doesn't sound like it's too important. So for now, because it's going to be pertinent, relevant conversation type stuff, I will probably switch out you for Chloe. And, like, Ren, we'll see. Like last time, I almost missed a conversation where having her in a team was a bad idea, but I think for now we'll just keep this here. So this will be our team. So, let's dive right into explore all the mysteries here. Hi, great grandma.
私自身も影、そしてこのファンタズマの法則の上に成り立っている存在ですから、これを超えることはして差し上げられませんが。
Still, Celeste, you are a echo of probably one of the most important people in our nation's history.
できる限り皆さんをサポートさせていただきますね。
Aww.
影である私はこのファンタズマの法則を超えることはできませんが、できる限り皆さんをサポートさせていただくつもりです。お困りの際には声をかけてくださいね。
I mean, you could always tell us more stuff, but I guess that's all you're going to say. I'm a little surprised. I thought there was going to be more discussion there. Hey, Dagat.
ああ、聞いたか?
Yeah?
この世界は旋回みたいなとこらしいじゃねえか。
Oh, well, you know what? I'm pretty sure he'd say everywhere is good for martial arts training.
なんだか知らねえが、ここで修行すればかなり強くなれるんじゃねえのか?
Now, this place could somehow, like, now that we know it, like, can we instantly heal from wounds? Because that'd be great.
ジン、後で稽古に付き合ってくれよな。
Yeah.
俺は構わんぞ。
ここは旋回みたいなとこらしいじゃねえか。なんだか知らねえが、修行場みたいな響きだな。
That's the freaking
よ
truth.
し、俺もここで稽古をつけてやるぜ。
Yeah. Hey, Zen, what you up
始
to?
祖さんの話を陳思木工するに、俺たちは今この体ごとどこか行為の世界に取り込まれているらしいな。例えるなら旋回のようなものか。
Oh, that's what he means. I guess it's true. Like, we're about as isolated as you can really get.
詳しいことはわからんが、俺たちはどこか行為の世界に来てしまったらしい。例えるな。
I feel like so far their dialogue isn't too like unique as of yet.
ヨシは
Hey.
ちょっと気になってることがあるんだけど。
Oh, what do you gotta say, Estelle?
そうか。エステルもあったんだよね。
うん、それじゃあやっぱり試練って。
Oh.
そうだろうね。僕も覚悟しておく必要がありそうだ。
Oh, so they have a guess of what one of the trials might be. Is it gonna be Weissman? I wonder if they're guessing. See, I think Weissman's gonna be the final boss, but like they're predicting that we're gonna have to fight a shadow of Weissman and Ren. You know, that'll be
僕たち
interesting.
にセレストさんを解放させたのは、この世界の仕組みを理解させるため。
I don't like that. That's a good point. That's the thing that worries me more than anything is that at the end of all this, we got the stone with like the host of this world who can fill in all the gaps of the knowledge. How does us knowing everything benefit like Phantasma, like the Lord of Phantasm?
ならば、今までとは違った形で僕たちの記憶や思いを利用した攻撃を仕掛けてくるはずです。
Yeah, see, that does not bode well.
影の王がリベールを再現してみせたのは、初めからこのためだったのかもしれません。
Yeah, maybe all the trials we fought like weren't just like part of some game. It might have been giving him an opportunity to like wield this place against us and utilize our memories to shape it. And so like now he's basically perfected it. Now he's made our the true gauntlet.
ああ、リス。どう？みんなとはうまくやっとる？
うん、大丈夫。ケビンが寝ている間に仲良くなったから。
Good.
そうか。
ケビンこそ約束は守って。
Please do. You better.
もし破ったら1週間断食してもらう。
It's ironic because like first of all that would kill him. Well, not kill him, but it would suck. Second of all, it really feels like from her like that's like the worst thing you could ever threaten.
うわ、それはきつい。
I wonder what their relationship's gonna end up being. Because, like, we have the Joshua Estelle, like, oh, we're siblings, but, you know, we could overlook it. You're not blood related, and, you know, we love each other, you know, like, that kind of thing. It's like, like the kind of pseudo incestuous nature of their relationship, just it makes sense, and like I'm willing to like gloss over all that. But Kevin and Reese have a similar relationship, and yet I'm not 100% sure if I could see them becoming romantically involved with each other. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of people who do, and there's like definitely like a chemistry there, but I also just feel like I think they're intrinsically tied to being siblings. And I also don't know, like this church organization might not have any like issues with people being in relationships. I don't know. But if they're basic off of like Christian like monastery life culture, like the garb that they kind of wear is supposed to be seemingly emulating, then there would be a level of celibacy. But again, that's a religious thing and about like avoiding sin. I don't get the feeling the church is ever about that kind of messaging.
なんだかわかんない世界だよね。あの女の人の話は本当なんだろうけどさ。いいや。姫様の手伝いでもしてよっと。
すみません、ジョゼットさん。仕事を押し付けてしまって。
気にしないでいいよ。どうせ暇だしさ。
Oh, I'm guessing if I don't have Chloe with me, then she'll be not here researching. I'm going to come back for you, Mr. Book, but I think I'm going to separate where I'm going to have all the conversations first and then do the one book so people can skip it easily if they want to.
あの始祖さんの話はわからなくもなかったけど、じゃあどうしてここには本があるのかしらね。
Oh yeah, I'm guessing this place somehow connects to like knowledge of the outside world. It must, but like, which is why it's getting updated books.
しかもこんなにたくさん。わかんないわ。あ、変な本発見。
なんですの？
Weird one.
ギルバート・スタイン著肉体改造論。
Gilbert Stein, does that sound familiar? Wait, is Stein the last name of like the Gilbert that... Is the Stein the last name of the Gilbert that we fight? That's weird. I didn't realize it was that. Why did he write a book?
でもどうしてこんなに本があるのかしらね。
Oh yeah, this place is so strange.
一部変な本も混じってるみたいだし、とても誰かが揃えたものとは思えないんだけど。
Yeah, I think it's just grabbing whatever.
僕にはわかんないことばっかだよ。いつになったら帰れるのかな。
Hopefully soon, Josette. Alright, so like I said, I'll come back for that book or books in a second. We're gonna go talk to everyone, switch out our party members, and like talk to them like to them as well, like with everybody else. All that, you know how this goes.
Kevin 神父、体の方はもういいのだろうか。
ね、もう問題ないですわ。えらいご心配かけてしまいまして。
いや、それならいいのだが、君が倒れた現場に居合わせなかったものだから気になっていただけなんだ。
That's true.
しかしセレスト殿も仮面の者たちが侵入した経緯を知らないのか。それではいくら我々が推測しても。
Yeah. Why is everyone so spread out over here?
あの女性の霊がリベール王家の始祖セレスト様であったとは。
I'm glad you're finally acknowledging it. That like this is like that's crazy.
これは心強い。あの方のお力を借りれば影の王にも対抗できるかもしれないな。
I hope so.
まだ状況を楽観視することはできないだろうが、あの方のお力を借りれば影の王にも対抗できるかもしれない。
Hey Olivier, how you doing?
いやー、ケビン神父。
Oliver.
君もいろいろ抱えているようだね。すべて話せとは言わないが、僕らも巻き込まれている以上、後で事情を聞かせてもらうよ。
ええ、必ずお話ししますさかい。
Yeah, Kevin, I feel like you should be telling us stuff already.
申し訳ないけど、もう少しお待ちください。
I feel like he's literally waiting for a dramatic moment to drop in. I kind of hate that.
君も職業柄、すべてを話すわけにはいかないだろうが、僕らも巻き込まれている以上、後で事情を聞かせてもらうよ。
Sooner rather than later.
あの宝石、そのような曰く付きのものであったか。これでなぜ俺たちがファンタズマに取り込まれてしまったかは説明がつくな。
To a degree.
だがそれを実行したのは影の王のようだ。早く引きずり出してやりたいものだが。
I hope so.
レクルスの宝石、
The recluse cube.
これで俺たちが取り込まれてしまった理由は説明がつく。だがそれを実行したのは影の王のようだな。早く引きずり出してやりたいものだが。
Let's see how that plays out. Now, I'm guessing Tita's down here. Nope. Aw.
レンちゃんもぬいぐるみが好きだったんだね。よし、後でお姉さんととことんお話ししよう。レンちゃんの愛を確かめさせてもらうよ。レンちゃん。
I'm guessing that we need red here.
レンちゃん。後でお話ししようね。さっきの続き。いいわよ、ティータ。
Aw.
レンちゃん。
Okay. Let's switch out some peeps. Like basically all of them. I'm gonna grab people who might not be likely to have like conversations with other people we've already had. So we already saw Agat and we saw Zin. So we'll grab them. And I guess I'll have Richard since he seemed to be standing by himself. Okay.
レンちゃん、ランドマーの限定品のぬいぐるみ持ってるの？それ、私も欲しかったんだ。
ある意味一番同時変人かもしれん。
No, she's bothered, but she's just one of those people who like takes everything in stride.
私も狙ってたんだけどな。あの日は急にお仕事が入って買いに行けなかったんだよね。
You kind of gotta respect the fact that Annalise is like over here talking like shop about stuffed animals with like the youngest girls. In Annalise's like mind, it is a subject she cares about, but I also could see her being like concerned about like them feeling scared. Now, Ren obviously we shouldn't be worried about, but you can't help but be worried about because she's a kid. But then Tita, like I feel like she's over here purposely trying to like be comforting and like, you know, kind. I like that.
それでね、その子に名前をつけたんだけど、レンも前に猫を飼ってたことがあるわよ。
A cat.
博士はスティールクーガーって呼んでたけど。
Oh, that's like the robot cat.
それは違うよ、レンちゃん。それでね、博士。
Yeah. Ken and Ren.
ぬいぐるみならレンもたくさん持ってるわ。レンの部屋もうぬいぐるみで埋まっちゃってるんだから。
Which room? Like the one with Ouroboros, or do you have a new place?
ティータやお姉さんにも見せてあげたいわね。
Okay. Very cool. Good conversations.
「私自身ですからできるか」
僕たちにセレストさんを解放させたのならば影の
ケビンさん。
Hey, Estelle, what's up?
体の方は大丈夫？無理して倒れたりしないでよ。
もう平気や。すまんな。
Famous last
ろくに
words.
挨拶もせえへんと
I'm
倒れてしまって。
indestructible. I am invincible.
そうだね。あの時はみんなで呆れた。守護騎士のくせにケビンがあまりにも軟弱だから。
Reese.
リースさんが一番慌ててた気がするんだけど。
Yes.
ケビンさん、あんまり無茶しないでよ。
Aww.
詳しい事情はわからないけど、みんな結構心配してるんだからね。
Like Estelle, I don't actually know all that's going on, but I know what matters. She's good people. Alright, now like go to the last place, the library, where we'll probably find Chloe like helping with the research with the other with Josette and Shara, and then we'll read the book. Because you know I know it's all of your favorite. It's not, but it's important. We're gonna chronicle everything. Oh yeah, like the two of them working together. That's cute.
ここにはあらゆる本が揃っているみたいですね。ただ一律に並んでいるわけではないみたいです。ここにも何かルールがあるのかもしれません。
I mean, there clearly is something weird here.
ここの本たちは何か なんだかあの女、いや、姫様の手伝いでもしてよっと。
I'll try to help the princess. Alright, let's see what this book is, everyone. Alright, So I've likely marked this off in the thing. You could easily skip to the next time marker or whatever if you don't want to see what this is. All right. Oh, the Dull Knight of the bookshelf. Okay, this is my favorite. I already have this. Basically, it's gonna happen no matter what. I am going to likely commission a new art piece for Trails in the future. It'll probably be like the art piece I'll stick with for the majority of the future of Trails, unless like I decide to change things again. But basically, I want to like make my own. Like it's so cringy, I know, but dang it, I can pay people to make art. I'm gonna do it. I want to make a me in this universe, assuming I actually had like combat talent and wasn't just a guy. I already have an idea for the type of weapon and ability like arts I would want to be able to use, and I could picture myself using. So I'm gonna kind of make that design for like the end game card and for the for like the future Trails like series. I'm very excited because I've got just like this great idea in my head, and I want to make it a reality someday. But this is probably, so far, of all the stories we've read in the game, these are some of my favorite books. Anyway, so you might be able to guess the direction I'm hoping to take this design in. But yes, I love this. All right, let's go. All right, read chapters 1 through 11, then 12 through the finale. I forget, these are freaking long. Oh my gosh. All right, buckle up, everyone. We're gonna be here for a while. The Puppeteer's Apprentice, chapter 1. Long, long ago, in a certain little village, there lived a young boy. He was some 13 years old. His name was Pedro. Pedro was a small boy, not very strong, but his fingers were dexterous enough to astonish anyone. When he moved his whittling knife, wood blocks would turn into birds and wonderful creatures as if by magic. The boy spent his days with these crafts as of his life. One day, strange travelers came by the village. An old man with a sharp eye and a large man with a black garb casually strolled into the general store, whereupon their eyes were drawn to a wooden bird so cunningly carved that one could almost hear its wings beat the air. It was Pedro's latest creation. After inquiring with the owner of the general store, the old man and his escort came upon the little house where Pedro lived, and the first words they had for him were, "Prepare your things, we're leaving for the city." Pedro's eyes widened in shock at the order. "What is this?" he cried. "Who are you people His eyes fell on the large man in black. Pedro's words caught in his throat. The old man chuckled. "So you did notice. I thought you would." When the old man's fingers stretched transparent threads, he gestured and the black-garbed man bowed gracefully. The immense man was a clockwork puppet. "He is my black priest," said the old man. "My finest work." His wrinkled face creased further as he smiled slyly. He was the famous Master Capri Oratoria, the puppeteer known throughout Watuluna. Oratoria fixed Pedro with a beady eye. "You could craft something even greater than this. Doesn't the mere thought excite you?" No more words were needed. Tossing his carving knife into a sack, Pedro fixed his cap on his head and greeted his new master by saying farewell to his old home. So, we know a lot of these books are like, oh, they're fiction, but they're actually based on real stuff. Like, we knew this one was introducing some concepts that we saw Ren utilize in that chapter. But, here's the thing. Capri Oratoria, and he's like a master like at working these. How much you want to bet he is a like founding member or a current member of Ouroboros itself? And who could have taught Ren? Or this Pedro kid, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Chapter 2. The Blue Knight. The years passed swiftly for Pedro at Oratoria's workshop in the outskirts of the capital. Under the tutelage of puppeteer Capri, he learned the techniques to build clockwork puppets and the skills to make them dance and perform. After 3 years of training, he completed his own masterpiece, a doll of a noble bearing dressed in armor with a gleaming blue helm. If Capri's masterwork, the Black Priest, was a martial arts type focused on maneuverability, then Pedro's blue puppet was a well-balanced swordsman. Its counterattacks as it turned aside the Black Priest's punches and kicks were the very image of a graceful knight. "What will you call it?" Capri asked. Pedro had no answer. He had been so focused on its creation, he hadn't actually thought of one. Ultimately, it would come to be called the Blue Knight before he could name it. It was some time after Pedro constructed the Blue Knight that the king who ruled from the city would pass on from their world. The king had been long ill, so there was little shock, and the mourning period passed smoothly. And so, in accordance with the law, the king's only daughter, Princess Tia, would ascend to the throne as queen. Chapter 3, On the Road Home. Pedro visited the city accompanied by the Blue Knight. With the crowning ceremony approaching, the streets were abuzz with excitement. As he strolled the city center, people passed by cast strange looks his way. What a noble knight he must be. I'm sure he must be quite famous hero. Do you suppose he's attending the crowning ceremony? Trailing quietly behind the Blue Knight, Pedro could hardly keep himself from doing a little dance. Felt like a step towards Capri, who could control the Black Priest as if he were human itself. Of course, at the same time, he found it annoying that others thought him the servant of his own creation. He was on his way back to the workshop outside of town that Pedro's humming was interrupted by a scream. "No, please stop!" cried a voice from the woods. "No one's gonna save you," a man growled. "Give up and give in." From the looks of things, some thuggish men had a girl cornered. Dainty and clad in a white dress, the girl's searching eyes sought desperately for a way to flee from the danger. Pedro squared his shoulders and lowered his cap to shadow his eyes. He set his fingers in motion, and the Blue Knight charged forward. Alright, Chapter 4, The Righteous Display. Upon seeing the Blue Knight appear like a shadow from the heart of the forest, the men harassing the girl could only gape in amazement. "Leave the girl and leave this place," the Blue Knight declared from the depths of his helmet. This was a ventriloquism that the old master had drilled into his head as a secret of the puppeteering. Who the hell are you? Get out of here before you get hurt. Fools. With a jab from his clockwork fist, the Blue Knight knocked back the man holding the woman and pivoted swiftly to kick both men away. "Are you hurt, young lady?" "No, I'm well." "Good. 'Twould be best if you stood back." At last the Blue Knight drew his sword. Swathed in black, the third man, who seemed like the leader, approached. "Not bad for a wanderer." Pedro eyed the new arrival. The Black Guard man's stance suggested he knew something of proper swordsmanship. "Enough playing, though. Hand over the girl and I'll see you rewarded." "To ignore one's duties is to be without courage. I fear I cannot do that," said the Blue Knight. "Well then, die!" screamed the Black Guard man and attacked. The girl with the sky blue eyes. The man in black attacked. From the upper right, he feigned as if to strike the shoulder, but twisted his wrist and changed the slash across the body. Pedro, having read the feint, pulled his strings. The Blue Knight snapped back a half step, dodging the horizontal slash, and smacked the outstretching blade, knocking it from his foe's hands. "Impossible!" The Black Guard man rubbed his numb hand and paled as the Blue Knight shifted slightly. As if it was a sign, the thugs turned and scattered like baby spiders. Odd that you went with spiders, but okay. I guess they scuttled away. It feels appropriate. The girl gave a sigh of relief and curtsied. "Thank you so very much." She was still a bit shaky, but her manner was that of a noblewoman. "It is the duty of every knight to protect. Pay it no mind." "Ah, are you from foreign lands, perhaps?" Suddenly Pedro was struck with a moment of whimsy. "I am a touring knight, Pedro. I am the touring knight Pedro. The boy there is my servant," he made the puppet reply. "Huh?" The girl finally seemed to notice him. She faced him with an expression of bewilderment. However, Pedro was no less surprised. Indeed, his shock was many, many times greater than hers. Cool, turquoise blue eyes, the familiar, achingly lovely form. It was the same girl he'd seen at the ceremonies from the balcony of the palace. Your Highness," he blurted. The girl wrapped in pure white was the very girl who had lost her father and was to be crowned in the capital. It was Princess Tia. I love this story. The Melancholy of the Princess. Wait, is this like... Okay, did I read... Okay, I always get so caught up in the story. Yeah, okay. I get so caught up in the story, I forget what chapter I'm in. Chapter 6, The Melancholy of the Princess. "Will you be willing to guard me for these 2 weeks until the crowning ceremony?" In the royal throne room, Princess Tia asked the question with a serious expression. Of course, she asked not of Pedro, but of the Blue Knight. "Have you not a royal guard? Surely you would be far better off with them as your protectors." Unable to say that the Blue Knight was a puppet, Pedro followed as far as the throne room. He shivered, sensing even more trouble about to come. "The royal guard that protected the capital are... They obey the words of my uncle, Duke Gaston, even before they abandoned me and fled," Princess Tia said softly. Duke Gaston was a man surrounded by bad rumors. It was an open secret that he took advantage of the previous king's illness to line his own purse. The man in black you confronted, Sir Pedro. I am sure that was my uncle's second in command. All of it was planned." Princess Tia's sky blue eyes clouded. At this point, the kindly Pedro could hardly refuse the role of escort. "Understood. I shall accept your request," he had the Blue Knight reply. Princess Tia's smile was like the sun breaking through the clouds. "Thank you, Sir Knight. thank you so very much. She turned towards Pedro as well. And you too, good servant. May I ask for your name? Pedro hid his eyes once more in the shadow of his cap. I'm no one worthy of naming myself. How awkward that would be. Chapter 7, Turbulent Days. Protecting the princess proved harder than predicted. After all, almost every day there were new ne'er-do-wells sent after her. Eventually, partially due to their closeness in age, Princess Tia and Pedro, still playing the servant, came to speak very openly to each other. While glad for the princess's trust, he didn't know what he would do if the truth of the Blue Knight came out. Pedro was beside himself with worry. On the other side of the city, a letter was delivered to a certain puppet workshop. What is that boy doing? Guessing the circumstances and the very vague statements in Pedro's letter, Capri sighed and gave a bitter smile. However, perhaps this is a good chance, he mused. Pedro was ever bright and straight as an arrow, yet his thoughts were always of puppets. Partially due to living outside the city, he had no friends he could call close, and yet it hardly seemed as if he felt lonely for it. While the role of the escort for the princess was perhaps beyond his station, if he proved a chance to awaken more human feelings in his apprentice, Capri could only wish him the best with a parent's heart. 8. What makes the darkness shake? The girl has the devil's own luck! In a dim room lit by flickering candle, flames Duke Gaston cursed hatefully. He felt not a moment of sympathy or care for his niece. At this rate, she'll see the crowning ceremony, he snarled. This knight, Pedro. Can't we handle him? He's the first man so skilled that we've encountered. We fear that even the royal guard attacked all at once, it might be difficult. Recalling the shame of having his sword knocked from his hand, Duke Gaston, second in command, bit his lip. Still, we have nothing to fear, he said. While a bit of an odd character, we have hired a skilled assassin to handle this, my lord. Odd? What sort of person is he? Did you call? The flames danced bewitchingly, then went out as one, as if something tremendously heavy had collapsed down onto it. The carpeted floor shook with a thud. Who is it? Duke Gaston took a step back. The shadow illuminated by the moon was tremendous and inhuman. My lord, fear not. This is our assassin, Harlequin. He will remove all that is in your way with his puppet. The assassin sketched a mocking bow. I do love hunting. I don't take jobs unless the prey's lively. A sickening laugh shook the darkness, being a nasty smile to the Duke's face as well. Worry not. I am sure your hunt will be most enjoyable. And so did the night bathed in red by a crimson moon fade to dawn, melting like ice. Nope, I already did that one. 9. Afternoon in the Lesser Palace. Afternoon in the palace began with tea party in the gardens. The princess as always filled 3 cups of black tea from the pot. Please enjoy your tea. My thanks, the Blue Knight intoned. Thank you very much, Pedro said. Pedro moved the Blue Knight with his left hand and sipped the tea made by the princess. It was the happiest moment in their otherwise busy days. Good servant, you really seem to enjoy your tea. It makes me very worth the effort for one who made it. You are too kind. Smiling bitterly, Pedro pulled his strings. The Blue Knight, in one go, emptied the tea in the cup into the leather sack on his neck. At this, the Princess Tia could only sigh. Whereas Sir Pedro here seems to hardly find it delicious at all. It makes it difficult to be motivated. Pardon me, fear I am an impolite man. In his heart, Pedro felt a nervous edge, but the Blue Knight answered with an ever-calm face. There had been countless moments where it seemed as if everything would be revealed, but Princess Tia showed no signs of doubting the truth of the Blue Knight. The princess smiled faintly, but her expression quickly turned somber. I suppose it doesn't matter. These fun afternoons will end tomorrow. After the crowning ceremony the following day, you'll both leave for the city after all. 10. Faint pain. At the princess's lonely words, Pedro's heart beat fast as a drum. I fear I am a man on the path of a warrior, so... My apologies, the Blue Knight said. No, I should apologize. I should hardly make for such a queen like this. The princess shook herself and smiled brightly. Forgetting to control the puppet, Pedro ducked his head to hide his longing on his face. He would have loved to stay as her guard. Though she might have been of noble birth, Princess Tia was a lonely girl who had lost her father. However, she'd been speaking not of the servant like Pedro, but of the Blue Knight. To the princess, Pedro was simply part of the package. Thinking that made his chest hurt somehow. It was a pain such as he had never felt when he was handling his puppets. Ultimately, Pedro had chosen. He would have meant saddening the princess to flee from the unbearable pain in his chest. would you like a second cup? As if to clear the heavy atmosphere, the princess offered a pot with a smile. Oh, that does sound good. Mind giving me a cup? With an unnerving laugh, a shadow leapt in. Huh? What? A sudden gust tore through the garden, sending its tea flying off the table. Crimson wings beat the air, and an immense puppet in the form of a devil fell to the earth. Sorry for interrupting your lovely tea party, tittered a voice. Would you mind playing with me for a bit? And the devil's left arm was a human figure. It was a masked puppeteer, Harlequin. I'll make sure there's plenty of fun, he giggled. Was it 10? A faint pain. Nope, we did this already. So now it's 11. The devil's attack. Lady Tia, stand back! Pedro shielded the princess behind him, sent the Blue Knight forward towards the Crimson Devil's right arm. It was a blind spot for the masked puppeteer. With a rapid turn, the knight let loose a heavy strike. The tip of the sword was swallowed up at the base of the creature's wing. The demon's right arm flashed up, blade claw scraping, sending sparks into the air. Losing its balance, the Blue Knight took an unsteady step back. The demon gave a shiver, and the barbed tail, thick as logs, screamed through the air, striking forward. Astonished by the technique, Pedro snapped the Blue Knight back, dodging the tail swipe. Oh, you are good. I didn't think you were the same business. The masked puppeteer spoke not to the Blue Knight, but to Pedro. The Blue Knight, as if to interrupt these words, pointed its sword at the puppeteer. What nonsense are you speaking? If you shall not come, then shall I strike first? Even now, Pedro tried to hide it. Princess Tia, with a confused expression, gazed upon the preceding events. I see. So that's how it is. The masked puppeteer, as if suddenly realizing the situation, laughed softly. My. Well, let no one call me rude. If you'd rather not share, I'll stay quiet. But you know. Sorry, my voice is giving out with that voice. The puppeteer's voice dripped low, as tinging with a royal-thing darkness. If you don't even have the much guts, then even thinking you can win against my calamity is naive! Chapter 12, don't go fetch me. Chapter 12, the Crimson Demon. The demon doll Calamity kicked the ground and launched itself into the air, closing the gap in an instant. Pedro reacted just a moment too slow. So intent he was on not wanting the princess to notice. It was the tiniest of openings, but it was the one that would prove fatal. First, the sword was knocked from Clockwork's hands. Then, the claws continued to dig in, cutting through the blue armor like butter. Oh my, what's wrong? The tail whipped in, encircling the Blue Knight. With a twitch of the puppeteer's fingers, the tail tightened, crushing both the knight's arms. Got you! The claws grabbed the Blue Knight by the feathered helm and lifted it off his feet. Stop! The first puppet he'd made. They'd put so much effort into was being torn to pieces. Pedro lost himself for a moment and ran forward. You are so impatient. Don't need to worry, I was going to give it back. The Crimson Demon held the Blue Knight high and threw it down towards Pedro. Gah! The Blue Knight crashed into Pedro and bowled him over. He lay in a crumpled heap upon the lawn under the body of the puppet. Please stop! Please stop! The princess stepped between the fallen pair and the masked puppeteer, her arms spread wide. I offer myself to you. In return, I command you to cease this senseless violence. That's me. Can you imagine that? Saying goodbye. I offer myself to you. In return, I command you to cease this senseless violence. As Princess Tia's bold words, the puppeteer licked his lips loudly. You offer yourself in place of your guard. Why? You bring tears to my eyes, princess. You mustn't, Lady Tia. Barely conscious, Pedro desperately tried to put the words together. He had not the energy to use ventriloquism. My master. Pedro is fine. Leave it to him. Hurry, run. Sir Pedro, silence. At the princess's angry words, Pedro managed to open his eyes fully, for those words were addressed most surely to he, still garbed and acting as a servant. You knew. I'm sorry, I pretended not to notice. The princess smiled in a sad, lonely way, then turned to the puppeteer again with a dignified expression. Now take me to my uncle. Oh my, what a princess you are. I bet you would have made quite the queen too. The demon slowly stretched out its right arm. When the princess stepped on, it began to beat its crimson wings. Sir Pedro, thank you so much. This last week was very fun. The words of goodbye sunk into his brain. As he watched the scarlet shadow being swallowed up in the blue sky, Pedro's consciousness slowly faded into darkness. Dang, man. It's a good story. I remember reading it last time, and man, it's still great. Like, this should be its own standalone thing. Chapter 14, The Cost of Deceit. The next morning, when Pedro opened his eyes, he found himself in the room at the doll workshop. Safe on his familiar firm bed, he felt a rush of relief. It had all been a dream. Capri called out to him from the workshop. "Oh, how are you feeling?" Pedro craned his neck. On the workbench in the back, he glimpsed a disassembled blue parts spread out across the wood. He leaped up, panicking. It wasn't a dream. It seemed Capri had used the Black Priest to bring Pedro in the broken form of the Blue Knight back from the castle. It's my fault. Pedro's eyes trailed over his former masterpiece, now reduced to junk. His memory then trailed back over the cool turquoise blue eyes, a warm smile like a ray of sunlight, and fine fingers pouring black tea. Pedro ground his lip between his teeth. The Blue Knight wasn't good enough. If I had any talent as a puppeteer, I would have been able to protect Princess Tia. It seems you still don't understand, Capri muttered. His face took on a rare expression of severity. What you lack is here! In a forceful motion, he jabbed his finger against Pedro's chest. Pedro could only blink in shock. 14? The next morning, nope. I know I must seem so stupid, but I just get so caught up in the story. Chapter 15, A Little Decision. Her Highness knew the truth of the Blue Knight, and yet she chose to pretend not to. Do you really not understand why? Because, unexpectedly, in the depths of his mind, he had a flash of insight. Sir Pedro, silence, she'd said. Then, I pretended not to notice. He recalled the sad, lonely smile she gave him when she revealed it. Something hot boiled up in his chest. Pedro raised his head and fixed Capri with an intense gaze. Master, I beg of you, help me repair the Blue Knight. The old man studied his face. The masked puppeteer you fought is a man feared like a demon in our trade. A half-baked man, yet hope to match him. Do you understand? Even so, I will, for the person who believed in me. When he said this, Capri smiled broadly, as if something grand had just fallen in his lap. It was the day before the crowning ceremony. At the palace, the princess's absence had been noticed, and the royal keep fell into an uproar from top to bottom. Nope, wrong one. And so the boy becomes a man, chapter 17. Like a graceful leopard, a tall knight clad in blue armor. Oh, nope. I think I went too early. Was it 16 after all? Okay. Now I'm super confused. I want to make sure. Okay. Yeah, so I did skip one. Okay. Good grief, I'm a mess. The Duke's private manor. On the outskirts of the capital in Duke Gaston's manor, Princess Tia sat in a lush room carpeted in deep crimson. It's perfect for you, princess. With a satisfied expression, Duke Gaston glared at his bound prisoner. What do you intend to do about the crowning ceremony today? Princess Tia asked in a quiet voice. The Duke shrunk back a bit under her icy gaze. I'm afraid you'll be absent, and so the throne and staff will be offered to me, the second in line. Do you believe the people will accept you? To change the subject, Tia, I have found someone willing to accept you as a bride. Seeing the sky-colored eyes waver for a moment, the Duke smiled in renewed confidence. He's the second Imperial son, and quite the connection. The Duke's smile widened. While you learn the joys of womanhood in a new land, you can leave the rest to me. It was a cowardly plan. Certainly it wasn't a scenario that would be accepted for the Duke to take the throne in place of her first heir. However, it was different if the princess were to marry. If that were to pass, anyone who could see the Duke Gaston's ascent to the throne was all but a done deal. My lord, it is about time. At the second command's comment, the Duke stood. I am sure you're quite tired from the daily attacks. Take the chance to rest and recover. The Duke gave a chuckle at his own shamelessness and left the room. At that moment, that won't be happening. There was a tremendous crash, and the glass window exploded into glittering powder. Now it's time for the knight to appear. And so the boy becomes a man. Like a graceful leopard, a tall knight clad in blue armor leapt through the window. Following behind him was a small boy wearing a cap. Princess Tia, I'm sorry. I know I'm a bit late, he said. Sir Pedro? So you did come after all. A much smile floated out onto the princess's face. Somewhat embarrassed, the boy returned to smile. Their eyes locked and words unsaid passed between them. Hey, there's a time and place for things! The Duke, having been completely ignored, was sputtering in anger. As the Duke seethed, the second in command was stealthily sneaking up on the still-bound princess. He reached out his hand for the princess's shoulder. The Blue Knight leapt forward like a bolt from a crossbow. Lar! Pitiable second in command, having taken a direct punch from the Blue Knight, collapsed against the wall unconscious. That's a bit much. Duke Gaston, now white as a sheet, fled the room in a stumbling lurch. Princess Tia, let's hurry. Your crowning ceremony begins soon, Pedro said. Yes! Escaping the mansi, the two were pursued by the Duke and his guard. However, as if to obstruct their path, a scarlet shadow fell down, shaking the ground. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to get in your way. I'm afraid thoughtlessness is the #1 part of being a puppeteer, after all. Hehehe. The way he spoke made it hard to believe it was just a job. It was the masked puppeteer Harlequin and the Crimson Demon Doll Calamity. Almost done. 18. The duel between Red and Blue. While Blade met Deadly Claw, Blue and Red twisted about in a blinding fashion. The cover of the fight had been cleaved. The cover to the fight had been cleaved off. Oh, you are moving better, Harlequin exclaimed. Surprisingly, the Blue Knight's movements were just a little bit faster than that of the Crimson Devil puppet Calamity. I broke it all to pieces too, but I fixed it back up in just one day. Looks like the old man found himself a good apprentice. You know my master? Harlequin twirled his fingers and Calamity fluttered its wings and slowly lifted into the sky. We have a bit of history, yes, he giggled, but forget about that. What do you do about this? As if howled those words, the red puppet swooped down. Pedro pulled his strings back and the Blue Knight narrowly avoided the grasping claws. Or this! As smooth as flowing water, Calamity sent out its long tail to swipe at the knight. Pedro's threads flowed down to the right. Dropping its center of gravity, the Blue Knight shifted its sword to a slant and redirected the force of the tail upward. Or this! Calamity swung its horned head around and charged straight for the Blue Knight's torso. Pedro snapped his threads upward and to the left this time. The Blue Knight, who had let itself fall slightly back, now slashed its sword down in a blur of light. With a small, pleasant cracking sound, the crimson wing on the right side of the puppet was hewn straight off. That 18. Red hot roar. Slightly panicked, the masked puppeteer wrenched back on the strings and pulled space between himself and the Blue Knight. Hey, how about we call it a draw here? Knowing it was hopeless, Pedro still offered. Oh, no, that's Pedro, sorry. Hey, how about we call it a draw here? Knowing it was hopeless, Pedro still offered. As he expected, a happy voice called back. Now, don't make bad jokes like that. It's been too long since I've had this much fun after all. Seemingly drunk on warped joy, Harlequin twisted his hands about in a complex motion. Looked almost as if he were drawing magic circles in the air. Didn't think I'd end up having to use this, he giggled. Calamity crossed both his arms across his body as if holding itself. Slowly, a burning scent filled the air. A cold chill ran down Pedro's spine. He set to moving the Blue Knight, but realized the princess was behind it. You can regret it in your next life, Harlequin screamed. The Crimson Demon took an imposing stance. His massive jaw creaked. There was a rushing of air, and a ball of brilliant flames spewed forth. The air was engulfed in a violent pillar of swirling fire. The Blue Knight, Pedro, and the princess were all swallowed by the inferno. So that's it, is it? Guess it was kind of a pity to end there, huh? Gazing at the roaring flames, Harlequin muttered regretfully. However, his eyes soon narrowed, puzzled. No scent of meat roasting or the metal melting reached his nose. What? The crimson maelstrom began to swirl faster. The center suddenly parted as if blown apart from the inside. From the middle rose a blue twister. 19? No, Red Heart Roar already did that. 20. The whereabouts of a death match. From within the flame, the Blue Knight arose. Across its shoulder, Pedro and the Princess Tia could be seen clinging, hale and hearty. What had blown away the raging flames was a tremendous two-handed sword. Spinning the enormous blade like a whirlwind, the butterfly made of flame danced above the Blue Knight's head as if it was a fantastical scene. You think that'll work? Harlequin began gesturing again. It seemed he intended to launch another fireball. I won't let you! Pedro cried. Splitting through the wall of flames, the Blue Knight forced its way forward. In the next moment, Calamity's horned head was cleaved perfectly in two. Absolutely wonderful. The fireball, moments from release, puffed up within the Crimson Puppet and caused a small explosion. Flung by the shockwave, the Blue Knight was tossed into the air. Pedro braced both his legs and managed to catch it. Sir Pedro, are you alright? I'm fine, yeah, but I don't think there's any saving him. Though Harlequin may have been a foe, he was still a life that had been taken. Pedro felt the guilt of such a deed strike him. Princess Tia, seeing Pedro so troubled, enveloped him in her arms. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't kill me off so easily, said a whispering voice from inside the pillar of flames. The voice seemed somehow satisfied. I applaud your efforts, young man. I'll back down nicely this time. Looking forward to the next time we meet. The ground shook as a red and black shadow lurched skyward and disappeared from sight. Pedro and the princess looked at one another and burst into relieved laughter. 21. The Dollmaster's purpose. The boy, the girl, and one puppet left for the capital on light feet while the masked puppeteer fled into the deep forest riding his scorched creation. Stopping suddenly, the masked puppeteer spoke to the shadows in the trees. You're there, aren't you, old man? Noticed me, did you? Pedro's master, Capri, stepped out from the cover of the tree. As always, the black priest was with him. But it was a curious sight, for the puppet had no arms. As I thought, you fixed the blue puppet's arms with parts from the black priest. No wonder it moved so well. Well, the gap between you and Pedro was a bit too much after all. I took it upon myself to give him a helping hand. Harlequin's shoulders sunk in response to the words of his old puppet master. Well, I don't mind since I had fun, but if and when the 13 factories find out about this, I don't think Pedro will have it too easy either, do you? The 13 factories. The moment he heard those disturbing words, Capri's expression darkened. Well then, see you soon! Leaving behind a suppressed laugh, the masked puppeteer disappeared into the deep forest. It's a road all puppeteers must pass, the old puppet master muttered in a quiet voice, almost as if he was telling it to himself. Alright, so there's a direct reference to Ouroboros, so that's definitely like an actual tie thing. When I first read that, I didn't realize what the 13 factories were, but we know that they're tied to Ouroboros. So, whether either of these two people are directly working with the Ouroboros or not, they definitely have some kind of ties. And finale. A moment's rest. Afternoon in the palace began with a tea party in the gardens. The princess, as always, filled 3 cups of black tea from the pot. Please enjoy your tea. Thank you very much, Pedro said. Behind the boys sipping tea stood a dark knight armored in blue. However, he had not a word to say. What happened to the Duke in the end? On the night of the crowning ceremony, Duke Gaston had disappeared with his vassals. After all, he planned and been foiled, and the queen successfully crowned before countless countrymen. The royal guard, whose allegiance had been questionable before the coronation, fell to their knees in contrition and swore their loyalty to the new queen. The Duke, before he could be held for the crime of abducting the princess, understandably chose to flee the country. My uncle has chosen to entrust himself to the Empire. Apparently, he sought protection from the imperial prince and had arranged a husband for me. The queen smiled slightly. However, it seems as if they consider him something of a pest. I feel a bit sorry for him. Pedro was amazed. They do not deserve your sympathy. In truth, Pedro did not think Gaston would back down so easily. And what are the machinations of the foul-masked puppeteer, Harlequin? Capri, Pedro's teacher, seemed to know the gesture, but simply dodged any questions about him with a frustrating vagueness. Regardless, Pedro knew another battle would come, and soon. He'd have to upgrade the Blue Knight if he hoped to emerge victorious. Oh, Pedro. A slightly irritated yet comforting voice snapped Pedro from his reverie. Do you wish for your tree to go cold? The clear blue eyes, which met his own, carried their own message. It'll be all right. Pedro, a little embarrassed, took his tea and drank deeply. It was enough to simply have this moment with her. The end. I love it. I love that story so much. It's so good. And I genuinely want to learn more about the 13 factories. It sounds so fascinating. Okay. Now for the arduous task of building a team. If I know I need Agat, and I have Kevin already kitted out to be our healer. Oh, he's not kitted out at all, but I can kit him out to be our healer. So, I think that's what we're gonna do. So, give me some time. Again, gosh, darn it. This is gonna be such a long recording episode, and it's gonna be such a short episode for you. But I'm gonna get to work making these ornaments make some sense. So, give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, well, that's done. No idea what anyone's gonna think about this, so we'll just go through it real quick. Let's start with equipment. Got Kevin, he's got Juggernaut Bracer. Tabby, I gave him the Gladiator headband because he has the ability to use, to be able to restore other people's CP. So I think giving him a lot lets him be able to just kind of pay it forward. I also gave him the Destiny card just because like he's our healer right now, which I'll show you in a bit, but it's gonna make it less likely that he just drops randomly, which will be good. Agat, Hyperion, he's got the Surcoat, Forest Graders. I give him a Feather Brooch to prevent faint, and it gives some decent buffs to some of his other stats. And the Skull Pendant Plus, which gives him extra speed and prevents death blows, which I think will also be really good. Got Ren, she's basically the same we had before. Spiritual Boots and 2 Crimson Eyes, just to make her just insane. Look at that arts, 1900 arts. Not to be outshone, so like Agat's got 2000 strength. Richard has 2100 strength. I decided to give Richard the Fool's Emblem and the Tiger Heart, which just makes him just crazy strong. Here's the stuff that's real insane though. Agat has an 11 move, Richard has 13. Red still has only 2, and Kevin has 5. part of me wants to give her more movement, but these boots give her +3, so her movement negatives are insane. It's probably these, yeah, the Crimson Eyes. I don't like it, but she's our caster. She doesn't need to move too much, so that's pretty solid. Yeah, Agat and Richard, we're gonna have some pretty like heavy hitters in this next round, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I like their stat spreads. I think it's pretty much like Kevin's kind of coming across as like the all-arounder. Agat is super strong with decent defense. So is like Richard. They're both kind of on par with their stats. It'll be really fascinating to have them both there. And then Ren, of course, is just going to be a magic master. We're really weak to magic. I will say that. We have like no way in the arch defense at all. Ren has decent arch defense, but she's even taking a negative from like her Crimson Eyes. So that's like, it would be a lot higher, but I'm slamming it down to give her a boost of strength. We're basically the glass cannon team. Where Kevin's probably the tankiest person we have stat-wise, but he also has the lowest level of health, so that's just great. Sure, nothing can go wrong here. Oh, I almost forgot. We got Orbs, though. Orbs gets exciting. So, I have Kevin kitted out for just healing. Like, he's got a bunch of other stuff, too. So they give him some pretty good, like setup kit. But he's basically... I just geared him to have basically all the healing. I also want him to have some things, like he's got Action 4, the Sapphire Gem. Basically, I want him to go as fast as I can. EP 3 is the highest I can get him, but he's got EP cut 4, which should be good. Hopefully, having that increase in speed will make it so he'll be able to go quick. I guess, what are their speeds anyway? So Kevin's speed is 73. Agat's 79. Ren's is also 79. Richard's is 105. Just nuts. But yeah. So, like, it's about the best I can manage with him, but at least it gives him coverage of just healing in general. I guess, can I give him a cast? I'd love to give him a cast, actually, if he has... I need to get a... I guess cast 2 will work. Okay. Oh, yeah, well, crap, actually. I shouldn't have done that. I need that, I need the Septian Vein. Let's give him down here. Like, instead of EP3, we'll give him a cast 2. That's probably more important than... his EP sucks, though. That's me. This is tough. Because if I don't, like, Terra All, like, I don't get Terra All if I get rid of one of these. Yeah, so he still doesn't have, like, the best of everything, but, I mean, this is about the best we can give him. And the cast up time is really the most important thing he has right now. So I just did, there's some changes there, but this is probably the best I can get him. It still gives him pretty good. He's not perfect, but he's a really solid caster for heals, and that's basically all I want him casting is healing. Agat, again, just kind of beefing up his strength. I gave him probably the slightly higher amount of stuff. I gave him death too because he has a hit all S-craft, and so I'd like him to have a decent chance of rolling, of just clearing an entire board because like he's gonna be the one I'll use to just wipe out entire fields. So I feel like giving him death is a really good idea. Ren is basically the same thing we had before. She's got basically everything that can possibly be. I think I got... No, I couldn't get like I got a Mirage Gem, but I couldn't get the EP down one, which is sad, or the EP one, which is sad. I should have got that one, but it is what it is. Anyway, and then Richard here, I got him moving in the direction of just having movement speed and attack. I gave him some extra health. He's got 20,000 health. He's the tankiest, like he's got the largest health pool of anyone on the team. I gave him Petrify. It kind of was on a whim, but I was like, Petrify has been proving, like, you petrify someone and then you hit them, it looks like if you hit them, they just die. So it feels like a good idea. So yeah, hopefully you think that's pretty decent. I'm sure people can do better, but it is what it is. I'm content with it. So, yes. Without further ado, I'm going to go get our CP up to the top. And then before we go into the next area, I want to take Ren to go and check out her little toy. The big machine that she has. Here it is. Darn it. That's too bad. I genuinely thought we'd get some kind of dialogue with having Ren. Usually when we found like the Dreamscape versions of things, people had at least a reaction. Ah, well. Can't always be like that. And it was a pain to get back there too. So that was a waste of time, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Alright, let's see what's awaiting us in the next area, huh? Alright, team. Let's see what we got.
おっと、こいつが第六清掃への転移人やね。よし、早速中に入ってみようか。
Let's go.
おい、本当に大丈夫だろうな。
だからもうピンピンしてますって。時が惜しい。とりあえず先に進みましょ
う。いいだろう。
Okay, let's do it. Oh, hey, it's gonna be around the villa. Interesting. Not quite what I would have expected, like location-wise.
あら、ヘルベ州誘導の外れみたいね。
エルベ州誘導。リベロー家の離宮の近くが再現されてるわけか。連中が用意した以上、何かの仕掛けがあるはずや。
Granted, this place was never like safe.
まずは行ける範囲を全て調べてみるとしよ
う。All right, let's go. Let's take a look at what we can find around here. Oh. All right, let's take a quick look at the shop. Ah, that's exceptionally better. I'm gonna have no money at the end of this. But I really want these people to be well equipped. I could probably get away without giving her a scythe, because she's supposed to be casting, not attacking people. But Agat and Richard, yeah. Okay. Also, okay. I did get one tip. I immediately ignored it, but I'm gonna justify it and say, like, I think those are worthy purchases, at least for Richard, because I do think I want to keep him around on the team. So apparently I will need a lot of money at some point for a door. I will plan on not dropping too much money from here on out, because apparently there are sources of money in here and it's going to feel exceptional, but I should hold on to it until I open that door. But I feel like if I want to functionally travel through this area, I need to have, like, weapons upgraded. I almost always need it. So I'm going to do a second save, and I can come back if I feel like I've royally screwed up for some reason. So for now, though, just the people I know who are going to be attacking a lot. And the nice thing is that I found that sometimes there's overlap, so I could just also recycle in characters that use similar blades if I need to. But yeah, that might have been an immediate goof up. So apologies if so. I hate how zoomed in this map is. It's gonna be such a pain. Oh my gosh. Like, zoom out a little, please. Okay. Wow. Well, I don't know what you are, but let's find out. Okay, so we have the little rat things back again. The rat fighter. Beastman sees itself as a warrior, fights with a poison blade, and calls allies. And then this Suduro Talos. Okay, you're weak to water, fascinatingly. And time. A giant evil statue blocks the way and breathes fire at all who get too close. Okay. And you guys, meanwhile, are weak to Mirage. Okay. Well, we haven't seen you before. Let's see what you got, Craft. So chain 3, Luminous Driver, single, detects a Fury Slasher before passing through a foe, True Luminous Wheel, launches a more deadly wheel even further than before, and True Luminous Ogre Slash, unleashes sword for a deadly attack, Fate 30%. See what you got. This costs 40, so I shouldn't use this a lot, but I want to see it. Ooh. Very pretty. Okay, that one down. I know what you can do. I want to see you hit this thing. Oh my gosh. That was with upgrades. Oh no. This thing's got a lot of defenses. Weak to water and to time magic. Alright, what spells do we have? Nice. Alright. Let's see what this does. Very good. And look at that. Redna gets to go immediately. But it's cool that she's regenerating health every turn because of the gem she has. Nice. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Oh gosh. Okay, wait. Let's see if this forks off. Okay, I should use the map. I really should use the... No. This map isn't very helpful. Oh, they're leveling up like maniacs. Flame Smash 3. Nice. What's Flame Smash 3? Is that an S-craft? No, it's a great. Okay. I didn't think I wasn't sure. I want to make sure. Nothing's written on the novel monument. Interesting. So yeah, this is kind of the idea that like it's a dream space. Because then the last time they had it something written, but maybe when the Lord of Phantasma built this place, he didn't know what they said, so there's nothing to be recorded on it. Alright, I want to go down this way on the guess that this will be a little more interesting path for now. Gorgon Arrow. Ooh. Fun, because Gorgon is petrification, so I wonder if that's an implication about his like super strike. Nothing was written on the Anvil monument. Okay. Ruby gem, very nice. Isn't this the part where you give me some exchange, you know, like a decent human being? Sorry. We don't need to be decent here. It's the realm of dreams. Erebor Royal Village, the Saketh Gate, and the Grurun Gate. Okay, so normally we have to find somebody to take these things down. So what on earth do we have to do to bring it down? Unless we are unlocking another person in here. Sapphire gem. I don't see your name on an item. Why are you taking it? So we got a ruby gem, a sapphire gem. I don't like how it's giving us all these gems. Nothing written on this side monument either. Oh, you're actually active. The face of the monument is glowing. Its words are visible upon its surface.
影の王が告げる。これより先は無色の学びや。白き翼を伴い、文字盤に手を触れるがいい。
The white wings among your number.
これは奴からのメッセージか。しかし白き翼って。
ええ、我が末のことでしょう。
Oh, I guess that makes sense with Sieg. Oh, so you could just like follow us around too.
え？
これは私の影のようなもの。
Okay.
本体は今も庭園にいます。力を取り戻した以上、このくらいの芸当ならなんとか。
Well, that's something.
そうですか。それはそうと、この石碑はもしかして。
ええ、影の王が作った領域に通じるゲートのようですね。そして門を通るためには特定の人物を伴う必要がある。
Right.
各地に置かれた扉と似たようなルールかもしれません。
なるほど。この先に行くためにはクローディア殿下に来てもらう必要があるってわけですね。
ええ、そのようですね。おそらく他の石碑にも似たようなルールがあるはず。
Okay, I see.
しかし光っていない以上、今はそこに入るしかありません。
了解しましたわ。
それではご武運を。
Okay.
私は庭園にいるので、何かわからないことがあったら。
That makes sense. Okay, so this is like at least a new type of door.
さてと、一旦拠点に戻ることになりそうやね。
事情を説明してお姫様に来てもらわないとね。
Oh, of course not. Now, before we go back to the garden, I want to check something. Explain. Herb scenic route. Yes, okay, there is no warping here. We'll have to walk our way back. Okay. I might want to see... I might explore a little bit more and see if I can get a closer warp gate here. But yeah, like for the moment, we definitely have like our marching orders, so to say. And I am going to wrap soon because despite the fact that I know that on your end it's probably been a pretty short episode, it's getting very late here. I need to go to bed. I have to, you know, exist as a human. Silver gem. Oh, that might be the one I needed. Don't you have better things to do? No, I don't. Looting chests is the best thing I can do right now. So, silver gem, if I'm correct. EP4. Yes. EP5. Boom. She's got it all. She's terrifying. And now if I could get a higher level cast, that'd be just the best. Oh, there's nothing written on it. They will have stuff written on them next time when we take them down. Okay, so I think I see how this is going to work. All these monuments will have writing on them one at a time, and we have to go through them all and fill them out, because I think I've come in a full circle now. And if I'm right... Yeah. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so now we know our marching orders. So, I think we're going to end things here for now. So, again, a fluffy episode. Mostly it's going to be reading the Blue Knight book series, but it's probably my favorite in-universe books that we've had. And now we've got a good idea of what we're going to do. So we have to go get Chloe, we have to rearrange our team, and we have to jump into that gate. That'll be interesting. But jumping into the gates normally means we're going to see a memory and not necessarily have to fight with our team. So it could even be a temporary switch. So I might just like swap her in and then we like come back to our core like battle team right here. But yeah, because like right now currently like dropping her in, there's one thing I could do. I could switch her out for Ren. Except for, unless I have this, ideally I have the Cephas to unlock all of her slots, but, because if I could do that, then I likely could just swap the casting abilities between Chloe and Ren. Because Chloe, she has to have 2 water gems, but I'm pretty sure Ren's already got 2. And then, rather than that, like, she could be basically as strong. And that would be really easy just to swap out between them. But we'll have to see about that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you're psyched for next week, because there's gonna be a lot of like memories unlocking, I'm sure, because yeah, I think I've got a good read on this place now and how it's gonna work, so that'll be interesting. And then we're gonna get to the villa, and I bet you it has even more of those dumb monument things or whatever. So hope you'll join me for that, because also like I'll take a quick moment to point out here, when I went to this the 6th plane, look at all of these jump points. Like, what the heck, this is gonna take so long. So, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed. And until next video, watch me up. See me next. I'll see you there.